look at everybody saying, Anthony, I could swear I saw you in that same shirt last week. What happened? Well, this is a vacation show, of course. We're recording it. I'm not trying to fool anybody. This is what we do.
And yesterday they saw you in that, right?
They saw this yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute. We just, I did a show by myself yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I did an O&A show. Oh, my God.
AA show,
This
yeah.
is
It's a really nice shirt.
An AA show, yes, of course. Solo. But it was solo. I talked about video games. It was great. Look at this. Oh, my God. Lionel is back. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Lionel from, of course, Lionel Nation and Lionel Media. Lionel, you're all over the place.
Cosmos, yes, indeed.
I love it. Welcome back. Boy, a lot is...
Where have we left off?
We left off thinking the world was as insane as it could possibly get. And once again, we've been topped. Everything, it's sheer madness on a minute-by-minute basis, actually.
I find that this is so good. As you know, I tend to do a little bit of every now and then, a kind of a stand-up, a spoken word, outspoken word.
Sure, outspoken word. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when we're seeing this, but on May the 19th, which either was in the future or in the past.
No, that's good. This will be a bit before that.
Good, because on May the 19th at the Cutting Room.
Yes.
I'm doing my thing, and I hate comics, hate them. So what I do is I'm going to say everything I do, and there's a reason for this, is straight from the news. It is so absurd.
Yeah.
Pick something, and I will tell you what you've heard, but in my way, tell you exactly what happened, but it will sound so stupid. That you'll say, wait a minute, I didn't hear it that way. I heard it some other way. I say, no, let me tell you.
I will tell you in my fashion.
Or, right.
And I noticed very recently, well, within the past few months, The Onion, which I love reading The Onion, this parody, sarcasm, all kinds of great stuff on takes on the news and whatnot. It has become...
The news.
The news. It is exactly like the news. You read things and go, this is parody, right? This cannot possibly be the real news. And then it is. And then I read The Onion, which is supposed to be hilariously funny. It is. I love The Onion. And you're like, is this,
right,
this real?
This is totally...
It could be real. Right. Yeah.
But is it fake news, as some people say? May I give you one of my favorite things?
I want to hear. Sure.
Well, first, Syria. You know, I have a rule. Anybody who wears in the Middle East, or whatever you call the Middle East, who wears a suit, we've got at least somewhere to start.
That's a good launching point.
They're saying, we can talk. So Bashar al-Assad is one of the most progressive, and everybody say, yeah, but he's not a nice guy. I say, do you know that? No, I don't know that. I'm just repeating this. But he's a madman. Do you know that? No, I don't know that. I keep saying, but he's a monster. Do you know that? It's secular. They love him. They're saying, he's our president.
Right.
It's none of your business. Okay, fine. But here's the story. True story. Right before ISIS, which is really Al-Qaeda, which is really the West, CIA, whatever you want to call it. But right before ISIS is completely obliterated, run out of town, and Trump says, adios, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. Nikki Haley, who, by the way, you ever see Nikki Haley on the UN? She sounds like that assistant principal reading the lunchroom schedule.
Yeah.
Today we have tater tots.
She's very, she's always very angry.
Did you see her in the vote? People go like this. She's like this. She's like Margaret. Remember Margaret in Leave It to Beaver? Mrs. Canfield. Margaret. Margaret Rutherford.
Was that Leave It to Beaver or the other one?
The other one. It was the other one.
The other, Dennis the Menace.
No, Leave It to Beaver. Okay. Margaret Rutherford. It was Lumpy Rutherford's sister.
Oh,
Margaret.
right. Yes.
Lumpy Rutherford, played by Frank Bank, great actor, and Richard Deacon was Fred Rutherford. But I digress. So anyway, so she says, and we're going to go after Bashar al-Assad in his destructive, she's reading anything. She'll read a confession. Just give it to her.
Yeah.
Charles Manson, wait a minute. So anyway, so right before we leave, right before Trump's out, Russia's out.
Yeah.
ISIS is gone. They're in the streets clapping. We love you, Assad. We love you. He says, wait a minute. I've got an idea. In Duma, I'm going to gas my people.
Right.
Why? Because I'm wacky. I'm a nut. I'm crazy, like Crazy Eddie.
Yeah.
It's insane. Okay. It makes no sense.
None.
So they do it. And Russia says, hey, can we see these things? No. Wait a minute. No, you can't see this. Is somebody? No. That's it. We're going to start bombing. And so they're saying, you're bombing this because you want to bomb the site to make sure we can't see that there was nothing there. No. So it is. So they're yelling. James Fisk, this noted journalist says these people were killed because of a lack of oxygen, not a lack of whatever, not because of chlorine. Anyway, to make a long story short, it never happened. Never happened. False flag, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I'm a conspiracy theorist. Now that actually happened.
Yeah.
The way I told you exactly what happened.
So we went and bombed these buildings and said, here's where they were holding the gas.
Anything wrong with that? I'm glad you said this. Anything wrong with bombing a place that holds gas?
I would assume you're letting the gas out. It's
Who let the gas out?
Who let the gas out? Yeah, wouldn't that be bad?
If you had a hornet's nest in your backyard and I say, hey, Anthony, I can take care of that. I'll get rid of that for you.
Yeah.
With a baseball bat.
And you just smash it.
Wow. Right. So they're saying, wait a minute. Then the white helmets, who was, again, Al-Qaeda, ISIL, whatever you want to call them, they're walking around like with polo shirts. Hey, pick up the bodies. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold it. They should be in hazmat suits.
Right.
They're not. None of this makes any sense. Now, let's get these names right. In 2013, a place called Ghouta, they actually had the same thing with people they trucked in. I believe they were like decomposed for weeks. It's like, and they're like, these people are dead. But you're walking around in a T-shirt. This isn't poison gas.
None of it makes sense.
None of it. Then there was Khan Shaykhun, remember that one, a year ago to the day when Nikki Haley said, I think maybe we're going to leave now. It's a good time. We regime change. Mattis said, there's no Mad Dog Mattis. Yeah. We're not into. Son of a gun. Guess what happened? Boom. Poison gas again.
Gas attack.
And there we were.
What's the end game? What's the MO for why would we say that there was gas? What's in it for us? Lionel?
Well, it's not us. It's what's in it for them.
What's in it for them?
You want to call it deep state Wall Street, deep state police state, intel state, shadow government. I don't know. Whoever these people are. Pipeline. They want the pipeline destabilization. They're scared out of their mind. China just went off of the gold standard now to off of the petrodollar to the gold-backed yuan. There's that. There's the idea that they want the pipeline because as Russia... Remember the BRICS states, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and you never hear the name BRICS. She's a brick house. She's mighty, maybe that, or a brick, my house.
Yeah.
Never BRICS. But the world, all of their news refers to this incredible superpower. So while they're saying, we're doing just fine... When we say we, it's not us, but the West, we would love, imagine this geographical configuration, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Mediterranean, and then up to Europe. We'll take Syria. We'll take your gas. We'll take everything. The great Gero Salenti said, what would be the chance of us ever invading Iraq if their main export was broccoli? Never.
Yeah.
So it's always that.
But I thought that our oil problems are done with and over. Aren't we the biggest exporter now of oil in the world? Why aren't we set? Why would we need a place like Syria?
Because with the money, we want all the war. See,
but we want it all.
See, you're being rational. Oh. You're saying, like Nikki Haley would say, but we have we have enough oil here. We don't need anyone. It's not about us. It's about them. It's about speculators. It's about cornering the market. It's about being able to because oil is nothing but commodities of speculation.
Sure.
But there's a better one. Now, we all hate Russia, right? I don't know why.
Well,
Guess what? They just...
Because 30 years ago.
You saw Bullwinkle and Natasha.
Oh, yeah.
Get that silly squirrel.
They were always bad. We were trained when we grew up to.
Yeah.
It was moose and squirrel. Yeah.
This is the way the Russians, the Nazis, the Germans, Nazis, always yelling, "Oh, Schwein!" Phone sex with a German. Inconceivable until Nina and 99 Luft balloons.
Right.
I had no idea. I thought it was always a guy yelling in the Weimar. I know
Right. It had to be very militaristic and.
Japanese always torturing. Remember glass rods?
Sure.
Always. This is
Right, the bamboo shoots.
Bamboo shoots, but
They'll
also
stick bamboo shoots under your fingernails.
when I was a kid, they said, they would take a rod, and they would stick it in your pecker, break the
Oh,
rod.
break it,
Remember
right.
that was why?
Remember all these
remember the
stories. Where
of
did they come from?
Why did they do that during the war? No, now.
Now.
They like it.
Why? They like
They're
it.
weird that way. But we have these weird, these sense of Europeans. But the Russians are always the KGB, listen, American pig, they got Khrushchev with a net.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's Putin. Now, here's another one. This is. It sounds like a joke, like a bad sitcom. There's a guy named Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. Now, Sergei, is a double agent. He was in Russian prisons for years. They did a prisoner exchange. He felt so bad, Russia granted him a pardon.
Oh.
He said, you know what, just go, we want Anna Chapman. Remember the redheaded bombshell, the Russian bombshell?
Russian bombshell.
Lived in New
yes.
Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
Gather intel at the Passaic Mall. I don't know what she did in Jersey, what she was hoping to get. But anyway, so there was a switch. So he says, okay, goodbye. No hard feelings. Well, I grant you a pardon. All right.
I pardon you.
So anyway, Putin supposedly says, wait a minute. I've got an idea. What? Hear me out.
Yeah.
I want to gas him. Who? Skripal. Why? I'm wacky.
I'm crazy.
You had him in custody for 4 years. You could have You could have gotten him anyway in the shower.
Right.
Why don't you shoot? Why?
You wait until he leaves the country.
You pardon him.
Pardon him. Leaves the country.
Leaves the country. And when he's sitting on a bench somewhere, I guess, you're going to gas him with this VX. Well, they're going to call it sarin or VX or this, but everybody knows. Putin had the best line. He says, well, that's not military grade. He goes, they're alive. So anyway, he does this, smears it, they, whatever, somebody does this. They're, dead. They're sick, but not dead.
Right.
Everybody's saying, I can tell you right now, we don't have to go. That's not it. You would have had to quarantine the entire half of the city. So they're walking around again, short sleeve at the hospital. They're bringing him in. Yeah, cold blue. Yeah, we got a couple of VX gases. Yeah, bring him in the waiting room. The nurse is there. They're bringing him in. Yes, I'm here for the script ball. Down the road, follow the blue line.
Why do we believe?
Because we don't ask any questions. Because we believe the mainstream media, and you think that I'm not.
But it's so obvious. It's so obviously there's something not right here,
Right.
and it doesn't take your description of these things are brilliant, but it doesn't take much to go. This is ridiculous. It makes no sense, and like any layman could understand that. If a nerve agent is used, you would have to absolutely quarantine an area. It would be, get out the what was the name of that movie with Cher? Where they're brushing her in the shower. Silkwood.
Silkwood.
Get the Silkwood showers going and everything. But just because they tell us that something happened, regardless of how ridiculous it seems.
And the world, so it's called Novichok. It's the name of this poison that supposedly Putin used, and it means novice or something. So Lavrov, who is we don't have a corollary. We have. Trump cracks me up, but I mean, he's like, you never see Trump like. Putin is he's a gangster. He's very cool. And he does like 3-hour press conferences, ask anything you want. And we have nothing. Name a a Trump press conference before he goes, "Shut up, you Acosta, shut up."
Shut up.
I love him.
Fake news.
Well, we don't have a Lavrov. So Lavrov is like, he is the Secretary of State's whatever. And he says, give us a sample of the Novichok. He says, first of all, how did you have the antidote? Now, I forgot to tell you where this fellow Sergey is, about 8 miles away. There's a place called Porton Down. Sounds like Downton Abbey or something. Porton Down is their Walter Reed, their CDC. That's where they make the gas, their own gas. They make it right in the neighborhood. And they happen to have an antidote. How did you have one? Wait a minute, you don't know what this is? Because each gas has a marker. So Russia says, silly them, can we have a sample of the urine? No. No. He goes, no, but before you, okay, then bring somebody else in. No, it was gas. You did it.
Right.
That's all.
End of story.
End of story. And we're going to pull out the ambassadors. And then you go, what?
So now is this the same type of thing? Destabilization, trying to make out Russia to be the bad guy, continue to be the bad guy?
Why? So Trump can turn
why?
around and say, so I'm colluding with them? How do you explain that? How do you explain this? Now listen, this is the best part. You know that, and I always imagine these late night calls. Hello, Vlad, yeah, Donnie. Listen, I know. I'm sorry. Listen, do me a favor. We're going to send some rockets into Syria. I checked it with Bosch. It's okay. Bosch, remember Time and Tide? Great. Who was with Matt Bianco. Most people forget that. Anyway, I said it with Bosch. He's okay with it. You got to help me out. Why? Because I'm crawling on my ass about you and this collusion. I know it doesn't make any sense. You colluded with, what did you do? You bought Facebook ads.
Facebook ads. Well, yeah.
Remember the old days, like The Conversation or spy movies, or people in the old days, Alger Hiss going in the back in the pumpkin patch, and there's getting the microfiche.
Microfilm.
Remember that camera they had?
Fiche.
Yeah. Remember that camera?
Yeah. The little
it would have
AGB camera.
Across the bridge or the Tom Hanks bridge crossing, and they would have a quarter and the micro dot and all this stuff. And by the way, that was all PSYOP, CIA. Russia. Okay.
Of course.
So all of a sudden, Russia say, so Trump, smart, wag the dog? You tell me. Anybody talking about that collusion anymore? No.
That's Dunsky.
And Vlad's thinking, I'm looking like an idiot. Because in Russia, they're saying to him, you're going to take this?
Yeah.
You're gonna take this? I know. Then, I forgot to tell you, the other day, the Syrian thing, they sent 100 missiles over. Syrian army knocked 70 of them out. 70.
That's and I heard from the news and Trump that didn't happen. No, they all made it. Wonderful missiles.
I want to be at the big weapons expo like the NAB, like these.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy who goes, "Hey, right here, we're the ones who knocked the lines." How much for those things? Oh yeah, forget the Patriot. Check this baby out.
Yeah.
Remember Missile Command years ago with the
here.
And
it would be an expanding circle that would take them out.
Right.
Yeah, time it perfectly.
This is better. The story gets better and better. 70%.
So what happens now with Putin and Russia? What is he going to do to make himself look better to his people after pretty much getting smacked around by Donald Trump, or making it appear that way?
I don't know, and it's scary.
Right?
Because there comes a point when he says, "Okay, I'm gonna have to do something here. I don't want to do this, and supposedly are you at all into QAnon?"
I've heard about it.
That is the greatest. Don't go there.
Okay.
It will suck you in. I'm like this. My wife said, "What are you doing?" Q dropped.
I see that every so often. Yeah.
I love it. It's all. I mean, it's like the
Right up your alley, yeah.
the normies and the anons and this and that and the clowns, the CIA, and you got to know the lingo, and you have people who decode it. The lingo is fantastic, but supposedly the idea was that, okay, look, we're going to send in these really shitty things over there. So the Syrian defense says, okay, guys, want to crank up your missile defense? He goes, against the Americans? Trust me. We're going to get rid of this old stuff we've had it.
Shit.
We don't know what this is. 70% of the stuff, if you believe that.
So the speculation would be that they weren't our best offensive weapons.
And it was a pinprick. It was symbolic. He didn't want to do it. They were saying, look, I did something. And anyway,
Right.
and here's the best one. Rachel Maddow. Chris, who was your who was your favorite, I don't want to say lefty, but
That
Joy Behar or Chris Cuomo.
I do enjoy Mr. Matthews.
Yeah.
Chris Matthews. Yeah.
He needs a drool cup. He has so much
my
saliva
God,
that's built up. He sits there and just, it's like you see it starts glistening.
He gets angry. I like that. Yeah.
So Trump says, watch this. So you want me to bomb Syria? I did. Oh, well, okay. You wanted me to do something, and I did it.
And I did it.
Yeah, but you didn't do enough. I did something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to...
Now, what is your take on this love fest in the on the Korean Peninsula? The idea that Trump will be meeting with Kim Jong-un.
He already met with him.
Right.
According to Q, I hate to say this,
Oh, okay.
they're doing these things like China Sea. A Forbidden City. They already met. Trump was so brilliant. Trump goes from brilliant to what? From Dirty Harry to Barney Fife? I don't know what it is. He did this thing one time with Kim Jong-un, who said, one time, he says, he said, I feel for this young man. He's doing a great job. He's got a big responsibility. His father passed away. He's got to run the country. I feel with him. He's a good man. I know he wants the best. And I'm thinking, this is perfect. This is hostage negotiation. All right, Kumia, come out with your hand up. Let me talk to him. Hey, Anthony, Detective Sanders, listen, I know you've been through a lot. I know. I read the trades.
Yeah.
We know. I got your... Sorry about the Twitter. Listen, what am I going to do? So the point is,
Right.
we understand. Come out. Sit down. Nobody respects you. You're right. Nobody... And you start talking to them. And you start... And I thought that's what he was doing. He was perfect.
Oh,
and
my
then he
God.
calls him Rocket Man.
Yeah, little Rocket
and
Man.
My button's bigger than your button.
So they're saying that he already met, like, face-to-face with him already.
Pompeo's going to pump it. It's already done.
Pompeo, we
Well,
know that's been confirmed through,
I'm telling you right now, Xi Jinping from, these names are tough.
Oh, yeah.
It should be a sobriety test. All right. All right, Kumia. Who's the president of China? Xi Jinping. All right, you can go.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like
tough.
without, anyway. But
Sound it out.
first word sounds
Sound
like
it out.
charades at the Kumia house. Xi Jinping. What? Anyway,
No idea.
especially with this crew who normally inhabits this.
Oh, yes,
By the way,
true. Yes.
Where'd you get this? Would you bust these in and give them a box lunch and a and a map to a Ho-Hocus? My God.
Yeah.
Anywho, but a little bit about North Korea, though. There's a guy named Bruce Cummings, Cummings, University of Chicago, and he spells this thing out about North Korea, because people make North Korea out to be
That's the other thing.
and he's a
right.
crazy man, and woo, and we can kick their ass. Really? Yes, we can. Really? No. 25 million people in North Korea, 50 million in South Korea, 325 million here, okay? 325 million to North Korea's 25 million. We have like 1.5 million troops. They have 1.2 million. They average the time to your service, your draft, the amount of time, not a year, 10 years.
Oh, my God.
It's the biggest paramilitary on the face of the earth. The entire country is a rock.
Is an army.
It's a mountain. They're all trained. And in that mountain, you've got underground bunkers and dormitories and hospitals and airstrips and
all that
military.
great stuff that got us in Vietnam.
Since 1941, they're waiting for you. Waiting. They are a garrisoned country. You want to mess with these people?
Oh, boy.
You have that is and they've got nukes. And you keep messing with them. So Trump said, listen, Kim, I know. I said,
I know.
but I had to tell you this. Listen, I'm going to make it good. Going to put a Kia plant. I know what you want. Put a Kia, whatever they sell, kimchi plant, Kia. South Korea, they're tired of this. South Korea, you think you can say anything you want in South Korea? Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony, I'm going to say something right now. and you hold me to this.
Okay.
This could be the greatest president we have seen since I don't know when.
Amazing, right?
Pierce? No, I'm sorry. No, but what he could do, and if anybody really deserves a Nobel Prize, it's him. What if he sits there and says, "I took care of this"?
Yeah.
All right, you two. That's it. That's enough. We're gonna
with talks or what we heard, the fact that they or not the fact, what we heard, they want to end the war. They would like to end the war that has just been kind of sitting there in a stalemate since military action ceased, but it's still considered to be in a state of war.
Now, who wants the war? The military-industrial complex. They do. The Atlantic Council, well, not so much NATO, but the people who make the every time you turn the boat on and you go out there and you arm those troops and the billions of money.
Yeah.
They don't want.
They're not using the same equipment they did in the 50s. Every so often, all that stuff has to be revamped, and they get new stuff, and that's huge amounts of money.
Oh yeah, just the other day, just the missiles. What we could have done with these crappy missiles that we got rid of, thank God. But with that alone, just the cost of the missiles. Forget, the gas and electric, time off, time and a half, whatever the extraneous costs are of war.
Yeah.
It's just ungodly. And Wall Street saying, terrific, this is wonderful. Stability, what are you, nuts? If you're Raytheon and there's no war, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what do you do? At some point, they need to blow up missiles so they could make new ones to replace
They need new enemies.
Yeah.
And then, so what we just talked about, if we just explain this, look, I think I know you well enough. We're patriots. We love this country. Right. The government's a different story. It's like you love the Yankees, but the front office is horrible and the manager sucks.
Right. That's
so you don't lose your allegiance to it, but we love our country and we love our. So we don't want there to be any kind of. We don't want people to die. We don't want any more of this.
Right.
We're not being contrarian for the sake of being contrarian. This is just stupid. And Trump, believe it or not, is messing everything up and destroying these people. He could bring
screwing
peace.
up the program. Yeah. If I hate talking about things like assassination and stuff, but man, don't you think he's putting himself in a position where people would like to really get rid of him?
Without a doubt. That's why he has private security. That's why he buys most probably not Blackwater, but it was Eric Prince or whatever. He has his own. I joked about it one time a while back. I said he should have ninjas, where he comes out with seriously with ninjas around him. He said, "These people are sworn. I fired all of you people."
Secret Service, my ass. Yeah, ninjas.
But here's the thing too. While this is going on, let me tell you my hero was always Eric Brennan, and he was the fellow on you would know this, the fellow on the Ed Sullivan Show who had the stick with the plates and the bowls.
Oh, my God.
5 or 6
One of the
bowls.
most anxious, anxiety-laden performances you'd ever watch.
Play with the saber dance or the flight of the bumblebee.
Yeah.
Now, how they had this. Now, imagine this.
I would get anxiety attacks.
You've been up all night during the 70s from Studio 54. Your heart is pounding through your chest, and you watch it. Now watch this very carefully. This is my world. Because there are so many issues that I have to keep going at the same time. Because on the right we got Syria, on the left we got Michael Cohen, then we got the attorney-client privilege. This is my life.
Oh my God, here's Russia. There's Russia now. We add that to the mix.
Then we make about it. Then surveillance. Then we have human sex. We got to talk about sex robots.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
All right, we got Stormy Daniels. Oh my God! How are those still spinning?
Stormy Daniels.
Freaking me out.
McCabe. We have the Horowitz and the IG report.
Oh God! I'm.
This is my life. Because in order for you to do, look at this, plates, bowls, stories, keeping all of these and
keep it all going.
And each of them are coordinated.
Right.
They're all connected. And rather than saying, okay, I'm just done, look at this. He has the plates and he puts
Oh my God.
That's my life. So you mentioned Stormy Daniels. Okay.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Amazing. How you did that fast. This is sick.
They're great.
Now let me ask you this one.
True.
This is my favorite story. Again, this is the truth. Tell me if what I'm saying is wrong.
Okay.
My name is Michael Cohen. I'm the attorney for President Trump. Now, what I did was, you see, there's this woman named Stormy Daniels. Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy Daniels. All right. So what I did was, I'm a gazillionaire. I own property, $55 million. This, I got a house over this. I got the medallions. I got medallions. I'm the only guy. Thank God I dumped them. But I've got medallions. I've got millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I'm so good that people come to me because of my real estate prowess. So what I did was I said, listen, I'm going to take care of this Stormy Daniels. I'm going to buy her off for $130K, whatever it is.
A bag of shells.
But I need some cash. Now you're thinking to yourself, but you've got all this money. Well, I'm not very liquid. So I'm going to take a home equity loan to get the cash. So anyway, so when you go to the loan, you go to the bank.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Franklin, whatever square, and you're at the Chase. He goes, and what is the purpose for this? Well, I'd rather not say. Plumbing? Yeah. Technically plumbing. Well, good. So anyway, so he does this. I mean, this is the most absurd. But Trump doesn't know this.
Right.
And he just does this. So anyway, so he supposedly works this out, sets up a dummy corporation. Who knows? There's wire fraud. There's maybe FEC, Federal Elections Commission fraud, because it is an in-kind contribution. Trump doesn't know anything. And so they come in, the FBI, everybody, breaking down his home, his hotel, office.
Right.
And during these raids, I'm sure you've never seen one of these, but they come 6 o'clock in the morning armed with lock pickers, safe crackers, tech people, anything they need. I don't have a key to that. No problem. Jimmy!
Yeah.
They had that thing from Mission Impossible where the denter's tool, remember that, where they could unlock?
Right.
What was that thing? Greg Morris always had this little leather. It was like a...
Right. He could get into anything.
A nail file.
Yeah.
An emery board. Anyone like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes the snare drum.
Oh, it's not even him. Yeah. Yeah. So
You would go like this, but it said, but you've gained 100 pounds.
Yeah, what happened? I used to love it, though, because they go like this.
Right.
They'd have a little bit of latex tape there or something so they could make it look like it. And then the next scene you'd see.
Yeah, right. You go from Sebastian Cabot to Martin Landau. It's like,
How
wait
did
a minute.
that happen?
How did you do that? And the Hulk. Why didn't the Hulk's pants ever come off?
Just the legs and the pants. And he would end up in some kind of Daisy Dukes. I don't know.
These are important questions.
Very.
Let me ask you this question. Why couldn't the professor ever make a transmitter? Like, ding, 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 ding. We're here. We're in that island. Pick us up. Receivers, great. That bicycle, anything you want. Radioactive, you could do isotope, nuclear reactors. They could make pies.
Sure.
Bake coconut cream pie.
Everything except a device to communicate to the outside world in
the transmitter.
Shape or form. A transmitter.
Why?
And they had, wires and things from the ship. A simple, crude,
Didn't you think that when you were a kid?
Morse code.
Why? Why haven't they killed Gilligan and also the skipper? Hey, little buddy.
Yeah, there was something going on there. But
And how come whenever Ginger walked into the room, you would hear doo 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 doo?
it was Stormy Daniels' music. It would play Stormy's music.
Now, who can go from the attorney-client privilege to Gilligan's Island?
No one. No one else.
Eric Bren could.
What do you think about that attorney-client privilege as far as, what about the Hannity stuff? Now, Hannity was exposed as the third client.
What?
But
so what?
who cares? I don't understand how that made any difference.
Aha!
We got you.
Remember that line from Naked Gun where he says, opens the door, he goes, bingo. And he holds up a bingo card. Well, that's one of these. It's like, okay. So here's the thing. Hannity says, I hope people remember this when they finally think, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out this Eric Bren. Then he went to Gilligan's Island, and now something about Sean Hannity.
These are all the
What
plates.
the hell's this guy? I mean,
These are all the spinning
even
plates.
when Artie talks about it, I can understand better than this. What's going on? I love Artie. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, he's great.
But anyway, the Hannity says he's not my lawyer. That ends that. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
End of
I
discussion.
asked him a few questions. Might have tossed him a couple of bucks, but
This is a myth
never
about.
a retainer.
Hey,
Or,
listen, can I ask you something? Yeah, let me give you $1. This is from Breaking Bad. There's
Right,
a 10
right.
spot.
if you give me money, then we have attorney-client privilege. Nah.
But if you say, I mean, I'm a lawyer, licensed, and you said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" Yeah. Is anybody around here? No, nobody's here. Listen, I killed 6 nurses. Okay. Now wait, is that privileged? You just told me that.
I don't think so.
You didn't ask me for legal advice. I didn't give you legal. You just
Right.
told me something. It doesn't work that way. You can't say, by the way, you can't tell anybody. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm not your
But-
lawyer.
But attorney-client, I guess it's going to be 7 dead people now.
So Hannity, apparently they're trying to say that, but here's to go back. Kimball Wood, the judge, they said, Kimball Wood married George Soros. She married him? That's his wife? No.
No.
She officiated. Do you know how many people officiate? You know how many weddings Rudy Giuliani has officiated? I mean,
course,
come
yeah.
on. All right, fine. So she has to decide, all right, they took this stuff from Michael Cohen's apartment. He said, listen, you're coming after me, but you're going to go through this looking for this, supposedly this wire fraud from this
Right.
money the fraud that I committed by basically getting a home equity loan for this.
Without telling me. it
And
was
then
to pay
maybe
for
the
a
wire
war.
fraud by perhaps maybe transferring the proceeds and maybe the election law violations by accepting an in-kind contribution because basically I'm paying somebody off.
Right.
So I'm basically contributing sort of anyway to the campaign. I'm contributing to your campaign by shutting up somebody who could ruin your campaign. All right, so you have 3 different things going. So the FBI says, we want to take your stuff and look at it. Cohen says, no, I want to see the information first. Judge Wood said, Kimball Wood said, oh no, the feds say we want to have a taint committee. Taint misbehaving. No, a taint committee where we, at the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office, have these group of people not associated with your case, even though they work down the hall from
Right,
me.
I think
we
they
all
know
have the same
what
boss.
this is, yeah.
We're going to go through this and say, okay, and see if somehow this has been tainted by this impermissible whatever, and we can say that's privileged and that's not.
Uh-huh.
So Judge Wood eventually said, what we're going to do, we're going to have a magistrate. Okay, fine. So all of this, well, as they were doing this, determining, would it be, do you get to pick your witness? Who gets to see this? The government, the U.S. Attorney's Office says, well, Judge, as we know, he has, Mr. Cohen, 1 client. Now, Cohen's lawyer should have said, this is great. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. No. Instead, Cohen's lawyer said, oh, no, he doesn't, Judge. He's got more than 1.
Why would he say that?
Right. So they said, who is he? Well, one was a fundraiser, Boyd. He did, but there's another one
I would.
who does not want to have his name mentioned. So Judge Wood said, well, why don't you whisper it to me or write it down or tell me? Now, there's a guy in the courtroom who represents the New York Times. His name is Balin, like Barty Balin. Mm-hmm. If only you believe it. Or Starship. So anyway, his name is Balin. So he, from the back of the room, says, wait a minute. You can't do that. We need to know his name.
Oh, my God.
So Judge Wood said, okay, who is it? He goes, he'll be embarrassed. Now, meanwhile, Sean's about to go on the air, and he's thinking, what did I do?
Yeah,
And
what?
there's all of a sudden the phone, ding, ding, ding. It's like all of a sudden your phone's, everything's going off.
You're a client of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, I say, what? I don't know.
Something. It's got to be something. The greatest thing, because I heard like CNN, MSNBC, the usual suspects were saying, well, this is such a
I'm sure.
affront to journalistic integrity. I laughed out loud. CNN, any of these mainstream media sites talking about journalistic integrity is so funny. That was their big point, though. Well, he should have said when he was doing interviews and defending him on his show that he had a relationship with this guy. And it's like, why? What does it matter? He's an opinion. He's not a reporter. He's not Cronkite.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Really? From the company that gave Hillary Clinton questions to the debates?
From the
talking journalistic.
That gave us Don Lemon.
One
time, Don Lemon, who said, I don't know if anybody's here now.
And now Don Lemon Lime. Ha, ha, ha.
Don Lemon, the cola nut. Remember
Yes,
that?
the
Jeffrey,
cola nut.
Jeffrey Holder, I think was.
Look at you.
No, not Jeffrey.
You know,
Was that Jeffrey Holder? No.
Was he?
That's U.S. attorney.
He was it.
I don't get. But he said he's not my lawyer. So that ends that.
Right.
But what do they? Oh no, he isn't. Wait a minute. What? So they didn't know what to say. Now, the question is, if he did have that, if he did, could he have opined about a man? I mean, just imagine this. You're saying today a woman was beaten and beyond recognition. She's hangs within an inch of her life, and what happened to her was horrible. By the way, I'll let you know she's my cleaning lady. I just want to let you know that, like, so your reaction to this would have been this much, but because she was your cleaning lady, the horror that you're describing, it doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to think of an analogy. It makes no sense. So Hannity now says, so then the dark days for Hannity. What dark days?
Why? No one watching any of those newscasts on the Hannity situation was going like, oh boy, that's what it is. Like no one knew. No one really cared.
You've got everybody on Fox News, everybody in political, name it, the American Bar Association people, everybody are saying, you can't, this is terrible, the end of the attorney-client, and Sean, I kind of know him as like, what difference does it make? He's in the news. He's a public figure. Right. So, but it goes to show you, we will do anything. Now, the best one, the latest one, what is with Comey? Do you know his book's not, I don't know when you're seeing this, but his book isn't selling now.
Yeah.
He's going to be on what, Saturday Night Live next or Dancing with the Stars?
Every time you turn on the TV, there he is. Yeah.
No, that's
the pilot from the Southwest flight from
from
last week. This is going to be next week.
Now what? Yes, a woman sucked. How many times has this been a fear of yours?
Oh my God!
You always hear when that. Remember airport.
Yeah, it was airport. The first one with the guy with the bomb.
Not Van Heflin.
Van Halen?
No, not Van Halen.
Van Johnson?
No. Anyway, but that horror. So when I'm thinking about this, that's that fear.
Oh, I don't think she knew anything that happened. She apparently a piece of shrapnel from the engine hit the window and her. So a titanium fan blade from a jet engine hitting you in the face. Probably you're done right there. But then think about it. You're sitting, you're drinking your coffee, you're listening to your music. It's a nice, lovely, 68 to 72 degrees in the plane. And then in an instant, you're in a Van Heflin.
Van Heflin, right.
You're in a climate that can only be found on the top of Mount Everest with 500-mile-an-hour winds. Like in a second.
Right.
It's like, da-dee-dee, wham, I'm on top of Mount Everest. And it's 500 miles an hour winds. You're so dead so fast.
And you're not mocking this.
No, it's terrible.
What I'm saying is, but the because somebody will say, you're bullying.
You're making light
of. No, but it goes to show you how in the I don't even know what to say. And anything, listen, we're going to recall all the engines.
Yeah.
Okay. The lawyers. This has been a bad
the
time for
lawsuit.
airlines.
The
A
lawsuit.
man who will be in our world. There's a woman named Stella Liebeck. I waited till he got up and left. I don't know his name. Vivian, whoever he's working there. He's a lovely, lovely young man.
John, yes.
But anyway, Stella Liebeck is the woman who was the McDonald's coffee woman that people
Right.
always associating with frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah.
When in fact, the scalding, vaginal pudendal scarring, debriding, third degree, horrible. But the airline version of Stella Liebeck, the gold standard of airline liability. A man, we don't know his name. Second only to maybe like the fellow who stood in front of the tank at Tiananmen Square. I don't know his name, but the man who was dragged out,
off.
screaming,
Yeah.
and then came back
Right.
bloodied. That was the worst part. Say, I just want, I just
Kill me. Kill me.
Right. That was, so that plus more insanity. People thrown off the plane, breastfeeding women tackled by security, and now this.
The planes are an environment that is not a democracy. It is not a republic. It is a dictatorship. There is the pilot that is the Führer, and then there are his henchmen who are the crew in the back. That's pretty much how a plane works.
Follows admiralty laws, kind of law of the sea. It's his.
Right. It's his ship. I don't know who doesn't understand this. You're not going to win an argument in an aircraft. It will not happen.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you think you're fucking 100% right. It won't happen. You will lose. You'll be removed from the aircraft and quite possibly arrested for anything that they see fit to arrest.
We used to say years ago in the biz, you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride. So you're going to go.
Right.
You might have a great point there. Keep in mind.
Don't matter.
Mitigate. Remember when we were younger and you would go on a plane and you wore a suit?
Suit and tie. It was
and they would ask you,
amazing.
Anthony, what did they eat? What did you serve? Well,
I had
different boogin.
It was amazing.
That's right.
And a little wine. I remember my parents had some wine, and they were cutting. They had cutlery, real metal
Knives.
knives, fork. Just an amazing thing. So I thank you. It was all very. People actually went to the movies like that too, suits and ties. And now
horrible.
There's that. I mean, I bring up the site all the time. Passengershaming.com.
Oh, no.
They have an Instagram account that's amazing. It's people that, now that everybody has a fucking camera, that just snap pictures of horrid, disgusting, rude things that happen on airplanes.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Yeah, they'll pop. Look, here it is. It's just. Bare feet seem to be the big thing.
Yes.
That's completely naked. Look at this.
Look at that
Look
that hoof.
That is disgusting.
My God.
Laying their feet on the tray. Is that a dead goat in the overhead? All right, that can't be America. I hope not. Look, like they put their feet on the trays. That what do you think? At the end, everybody gets the tray scrubbed. What is that? She's drying her underwear.
Oh, no.
I
thought it was a fez.
Or something.
I thought it was a fez.
Yeah, a fez.
You can't do it without your fez on. Oh, no. What is this called again? I'm sorry. Disgusting.
Passenger shaming.
I love
That's
this.
the account, passenger shaming.
Yes.
On Instagram.
Oh, I love
It's just chock full of great pictures and videos of people acting like
animals
on you're inside a miracle.
Right.
It's a miracle that actually goes up in the air, travels so quickly. I mean,
oh my God.
I don't think people crossing the United States would have been this route on a Conestoga wagon. That they are in a miraculous aircraft because they have to spend 5 or so hours, 6 hours getting across the country.
What?
They can't keep their shoes on.
What mental acuity do you have to be able to pull from the recesses of your memory Conestoga
wagon
versus and there's the European one.
I love
the larger wheel was in the front.
Then there's the buckboard, of course. I remember
And you wonder, when does one use that?
the buckboard. Should we use the buckboard today?
Miss Barbara Stanwyck would go into town and
Barbara-
take the buckboard. Miss Barbara.
Miss Barbara Stanwyck. Yes.
Now, the horrors of this. See, I am horrified by when did this happen, and I believe. Oh, by the by, as the great Bert Sugar would say, do you ever look through something every now and then? You'll say, oh, look at this, and they'll say, there's a YouTube channel. I don't know what it is. It's a guy who flies on the most expensive airlines. I don't know what it's called. I don't know how I got on it one night because I go into this YouTube pachinko and I go into this.
It really is. You fork off.
These YouTubes are amazingly soothing, and it's like a guy fastest.
Oh yeah, I love
the
them.
people who fast. The guy there's a guy who throws paper in. I don't know. Anyway, but you see the Emirates and you see these international showers, and you think,
Oh, yeah.
my God,
Of a little suite on the plane.
where you walk in, you
bed.
say, "Where's everybody?" No, it's yours.
This is yours.
The whole plane, tennis,
Amazing.
and then you've got this
Yeah. Then you got
Southwest
steerage. It's really is like the last class on the Titanic.
Right, exactly.
I don't know when it became that.
Deregulation.
Deregulation. I also think there's this attitude of Americans that they don't appreciate how amazing it is that you're in a comfortable chair flying at 35,000 feet in the air at 500 miles an hour, and you're going to be across the country, and then you get mad when you don't have Wi-Fi. It's like, what? I'm flying through the heavens, and you can't get me. I can't go on the internet? It's insanity.
Did you happen to see recently the HBO special on Andre the Giant?
No, I will see that one, though.
I'll tell you
I'm
one
excited.
part about
Oh, boy.
one part about this.
I can imagine.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Him fitting in a plane?
They said, yes.
Yeah.
They said, well, one of the problems is, of course, what Andre could not get into the bathroom. The bathroom that you
Oh, the bathroom.
So that when Andre had to relieve himself, whatever he had to do, micturate or worse, they would have to have a towel or a drape or something and a bucket. And he would have to, in order for him to relieve, and he would drink a couple of 6-packs of case of wine.
God.
Yes. And he would have to do this. So imagine it's your job. Okay, Kumia, you're new.
Empty
help
the
out the
bucket.
giant.
Yeah, help
There's
the giant.
this 7'4" man squatting like an animal.
Thank you. Can you please carry my shit bucket to the bathroom?
Your chamber pot. There
Yeah.
you are with this porcelain
Oh,
basin
my
of whatever.
God.
I mean, it's
It's got to be an FAA regulation.
But that's
being
the
broken.
But imagine then you're in the airplane too. What is he doing? Is he
Yeah.
doing what? And then the wafts.
Oh God, it's a tube. You're in a tube.
Yes, exactly.
You're smelling and.
Remember
breathing.
when it was no smoking section?
Yes, there was a section for smoking and non-smoking in a plane. That never made
Who
sense.
said that's a good idea?
Walking into the plane, if you were boarding last or what have you, and you just see you see the smoke and the nicotine dripping down the walls and in the vents and everything. How they allowed that is beyond me.
When
Hey, everyone, light a little fire
When did we
every few minutes.
When did we ever say it's okay?
Yeah.
Here's something that I think is the most, and you're going to think this is the most stupid thing, but I'm telling you, this. I want an answer to this. We are a genius species. We
Amazing,
we can
right.
map the genome, and who thought of the particle physics, string theory, Schrodinger's cat, all these weird Einstein. We come up with these things that just. And years ago, somebody, and I remember this, said, "I've got an idea. I'm going to make a luggage cart that you put the luggage into, and then you'll be able to push it on a handle. You have this little wagon.
Right.
Put it in. This is step one.
You're right. Yes.
10 years went by. Genome, the moon, maybe, whatever, but all this other kind of stuff, the space shuttle, this and that, and then nanotechnology. And then somebody says, wait a minute, why don't we just put the wheels on the luggage? God, God. And the guy who bought all this stock and has all the warehouses of this, he's like those medallion taxi drivers who blow their brains out because they realize that they're living in some anachronistic hell. So this guy's got this stuff, and then somebody says, wait a minute. How about if we have these swivel wheels so you don't even have to lean it?
Right.
Another 15 years. How did it take? Now you see these things and it's like, I cry every time. It's like, I was an animal lugging this.
We were really, I mean, you watch old movies, it's hilarious to watch the luggage. And it's
Tape.
one handle, the hard shell case.
Yes, Samsonite.
And that
blue.
was it. And you had that sucked. And yeah, you would think, you would just look and go, what could make this easier?
Not one
wheel.
Not one. Right. Not a proton destabilizer.
Right.
Though, as in you can't reinvent the wheel. This, because I see nothing in New York but being Airbnb and people. You're foreigners. I know that. You know why? Sandals with socks. So Robert Klein said. Anyway, so he's pulling this thing, and it just. How did we miss this?
We missed that.
All
the amazing things we did, and that one it took so long.
Have you seen the Russian? Have you seen the Russian? The guy who finds what do you call it? Not
Yakov Smirnov?
No. What do you call it when you have ways to hack something? There's this Russian who goes, hello, this America, safety is important. Here's the best way. When you eat chips, how do you do it? And they go, I never thought about it. Do it like this. And he inverts the bag.
Yeah, life
and he goes, that's brilliant. Hacks.
Life hacks.
Right. The Russian guy. Hear that, Johnny boy?
Yeah.
Have you seen him? He has 25 billion. He makes PewDiePie look like that.
Really?
What'd you say?
He really has that many?
Oh, he's enormous.
Let's see this guy.
But he says, you make bologna sandwich. Do this. Put on glasses because safety is important.
Safety is important.
What is your YouTube fix you're on now? What are you hooked on now?
I watch a lot of documentaries that I can't find on television.
See, that's the depth of you. How do you think you knew Conestoga?
I love that stuff.
I don't think so.
I watch a lot of World War I is a very neglected war as far as documentaries go. It was right at the beginning of us being able to document stuff visually.
Okay, for $25 million in a new car, explain to a kid World War I was because of?
Well, supposedly the murder of Franz Ferdinand.
Right. Not Yugoslavia, in a Serbia or
it was the Serbian, Austrian.
Now, tell kids you're going to be Mr. Kumia, substitute teacher. Okay, kids, did you hear what I said? World War I, the most horrible trench warfare.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen, I know you're busy, guy wants to get out of work, but I'm going to make your life a living hell. Oh, look at this. Here's the hack.
To warm the check next hack.
Is this the same guy?
Yes!
Hold in the morning, how to warm up real quick. Grab a sweater, throw it in a dryer for like a couple minutes, turn it on for a couple minutes, set it to dry for like 2 minutes, wait 2 minutes, and you're going to have a warm sweater to warm yourself up.
Well, that's not the most. That's kind of like a no.
That's
shite.
For this hack, before hammering a nail into the wall, grab a piece of tape and put it on the wall so the paint won't chip. So whenever you're gonna hammer in, the paint won't chip.
John, get the beginning where he says where safety is. I love this. I have.
Laboratory safety is #1 priority.
There we
go.
go.
These experiments, we're gonna do 10 life hacks. Let's get to it.
He needs subtitles for this one.
I love it already.
The best.
I'm gonna show you how
He does things like, for example, what's the best way to eat the deviled ham? I say, I don't really care, but okay. While you're on it, go ahead, tell me. I'll listen.
Yeah.
Well, back to World War I.
Yes.
Again, the plates, Anthony. The plates.
The plates are spinning.
We're doing it. I love that. And you're saying, okay, let me take this again. Arch Ferdinand. Okay. Why? Why? Come on, guys. Have you ever seen, John, we're going to make this poor guy. Have you ever seen these horrible shell-shocked victims.
Oh, my
from
God.
Have you seen these guys walking?
Yeah. Just shaking.
Why don't we see that anymore? I don't want to hear anybody complain about I couldn't sleep. We had
Right.
What hell?
Just
and it wasn't just
massive shelling of them for just months and months. It will drive you nuts. And I hear tell they used some gas in that war.
Oh, did they? Look at this.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Look at the horror.
Oh
my.
shit! Oh my God! Oh God! He took a shot right to the face.
Oh, look at
there he
this. This is it.
Yeah, wow.
No, this is just, look at the horrors of it. Look at this poor guy.
Oh shit! But you can put some. Music to
I
that.
know you were. I knew you were going to
Pop lock.
say that. I
Oh,
knew.
my God.
Look, just imagine.
This guy just everywhere he looks, he's waiting for a bomb to blow up.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
pretty much it. Oh my God, that was a nightmare.
What was that thing? PTSD. There was a fellow in the Civil War who wrote to his family about. I mean, it was just horrible.
Dearest Penelope.
So
Sure, it was very.
look at this.
Holy shit!
Now,
Oh, my
now every inch of my soul is screaming to come up with a caption for this, but I don't want to.
Right, you could. Yeah.
I don't want to make fun of this. This is not. This is. Look at this. What did this poor now? This was World War I. So let me go back to this. All of that because of Ferdinand.
Yeah.
So what? How about maybe prosecuting? They killed the guy, whoever
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, why? Well, war was a weird thing. It was more of you read a lot of the letters from people right before they went in, and it was this lust for glory and war, and the countries themselves were so into victory. It was still a carryover from the previous centuries. And then it was like, oh, wait, but we have this new type of war where it's a person meat grinder. And
Right.
Not that the Civil War was a treat either, but there was this glory to it that was looked at afterwards like, yeah, it's kind of not worth it anymore.
We did you ever read about? In fact, there was an incredible Broadway play about War Horse, about the horses
Oh, right.
in World War I, and there was these mechanical horses on stage that were just amazing. But the horses that were and then somebody came up with barbed wire or bob wire, as we say in the South,
Bob wire.
and the tank.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Anyway, but the point is that changed
Landship.
everything. How one little thing, how the longbow changed to war and separated us and made it, I can sit back and shoot this and I don't get to see you.
Yeah.
Today, the drone, artillery, I don't get to see you bombing.
Isn't
I don't
that
get
amazing?
to see.
We figured out, like, yeah, the worst part is kind of seeing that you're fucking people up pretty badly. So is there a way we could do it? We don't want to stop killing people, mind you. We need to keep doing that. I just don't really want to see it.
If we had this.
got it.
Remember when Mike Ditka one time said, they're wondering, how am I getting to Mike Ditka?
Mike Ditka.
Remember, the plates.
Yes.
They were talking about how do we stop spearing and CTE in football. He said, simple, take off the face mask. Take care of that in a moment.
Oh, my
now,
God, right.
Going back, so therefore, in war, we can say, now listen, new war, let's fight, but we have no weapons. You want to fight that bastard?
Oh,
you go in there with a saber. Go ahead. In his neighborhood.
Yeah.
You go there and you do that. Not this stuff now. Not 70 missiles that are knocked out.
Yeah.
YouTube is, going back to that, is the greatest I have learned. All of a sudden, I'll say the history of whatever. It is the greatest. And you, may I say, my friend, despite the image of the debauched sot, this lubricious
Made me
concupiscent,
very wealthy.
this concupiscent, salubrious, this soulless, vile, every night another party,
It's
going from trollop to slattern. But there is a real thinker in you. And you love this. You were like,
I
this
love
is
it.
Now, why didn't you have this at the age of 15, 16? Maybe you did. Why?
No, I had the wonder of it all, but I just didn't. I was too. I couldn't get with the program. I couldn't do the get on that track that they wanted you to
meant
get on.
nothing to you.
No.
You want to know this. Tolstoy said, history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true.
Yeah.
What we're reading is our version of it. My favorite is still Vietnam. I watch.
I think I've watched every single thing on Vietnam.
I'm going to send you
I
one.
watched a few twice, too.
I'm going to send you one lecture of this fellow who said that these people were just brutal. They used to sit back. They knew that planes wouldn't be too high because anti-aircraft, and that they wouldn't be too low, but they would be just right, and they would sit on their back in the fields with 45s and rifles and shoot jets out of the sky. They would wait. They knew exactly. They would watch. It is the most, and we went after them with everything we had. And Westmoreland said, you don't understand. We can't kill them.
Yeah, they had been fighting in their own home field advantage for so long against so many other enemies, and figured out, look, they might be better armed and better trained in the way they fight,
right,
but no one's going to be better than we are here on our own homeland.
Have you seen the Vietnam War, the wall?
I have been to the wall, but not in a long time. I mean,
when you first see it, it's because you think you just see this one section.
Yeah.
You don't realize how it goes from this little area to this big, and you think, why?
Yeah.
Go up to, just point to a name and say,
you
died because.
Who was that? That guy was a guy. It was a guy. He was a real, not just a name.
Right.
He was a real guy, grew up. If you
had to meet, his parents were there, and you said, or your would have been maybe your father, who was 19 when he died, but he died because of, what was that again?
What was that cause there?
Domino effect, the domino theory?
What really strikes you when you go up there is how small the names are, because there's just so fucking many of them, you know? You're sitting there and going, man, that's a lot of names. And, you ask yourself, like, you know, you could go to a World War II monument and be like, all right, I kind of get this one. But that is...
But even World War II, now here's the best one.
Believe me, I have my issues with that.
Well, the thing that we don't ever want to talk about, ever, is Russia. We came in at the tail end.
Yeah.
During one statistic, for 4 years, they lost 500,000 a month. The year, help me with this, I think it's 80% of all Soviet men there, born in the year 1921, died. 80%. The reason why we won D-Day, which was very good, thank God, and God bless our people, because the Germans were fighting them.
Fighting
Barbarossa.
on the Eastern Front. Yeah.
In Stalingrad, they said, come on.
Yeah.
Do it. This was for years, and Hitler just threw everything at him, and it did not stop. They fought. No. They were our ally. Incomprehensible.
The carnage in Russia is, and that's another thing that isn't really addressed, when, especially years ago with movies and whatnot. It was always about the Americans fighting the Nazi menace, and you realize, like, oh, there was this whole other thing going on that was so much more not much more brutal. I mean, people died, but the amount of people that were killed in Russia on both sides is unbelievable. Just crazy.
I remember 500,000 a month. I'm reading these numbers.
Month?
It's like, what are you talking about? The 25 million. Who knows these numbers? Now, I don't know about you, but there is going to be one day, sooner than you think, contact with what we finally admit will be somebody who's silly enough to talk to us from some, I don't know, multiverse or whatever.
Somewhere else.
And if you had to sit down, and this is a thought experiment, I mean, you're meeting them, and if I said, Anthony, you're not going to believe this is this thing, you know. He comes in, and the first thing you would notice is it has no mouth because it doesn't speak. It speaks telepathically.
Sure.
It doesn't eat anything because it basically lives the way plants do off of, wild, and it will talk to you. And you will say, I'm hearing this. And the first thing it says is, why do you kill each other? We don't do that. We just don't do it. We never thought about doing that. Why? Well, why do you do? I mean, just explain this. You have been at war. The number of people killed in war, civilian.
Well, Mr. Alien Guy, sometimes there's a place and there's people there, and we want their place. So we'll go and kill them, and then that place is ours.
Or now, Mr. Alien Guy, they have something that we want, and we may not want their place. We just want that thing.
just want the thing.
that is either in the ground or goes through.
That happens.
Or whatever.
But also, Mr. Alien Guy, sometimes there's people in this place.
And we don't like
We
them.
just don't like them. You like everyone from your place? Yes, we like everyone. Everyone has. Yeah, well, then I can't even explain this to you because we just hate everybody.
And this man named Hitler apparently was snubbed, or as the kids say, they threw shade on him by some Jewish art merchants who laughed at his watercolors or something.
That did it.
Or his father, Schickelgruber, because he was really anyway, he decided to wipe out, or tried to an entire, now here's a better one. Imagine this. You're meeting these people, and they say, yes, God comes out and says, Anthony, what? These are my chosen people. They don't have a Bible. They don't have to pray. They're already saved. There's no original sin. You've got original sin. You kill each other. They don't do this. They don't even think of this. They are you are the rats, the sewer rat in the universe. You are this vile, contemptible, horrible. You are this far. The only reason why people are just not running roughshod is out of fear of being shot by the cops, who are themselves. Think about this. This is what our lot is.
You wouldn't. I think if some beings had the technology to actually travel very far and come here and have some way of surviving in an atmosphere like that, all that it would take for us to actually communicate with people from another place in space. I believe it would be like an ant. If you took an ant and we sat and tried to explain what we are all about to an ant.
Explain fusion to an ant.
And just, like that is how it would have to be, where, we were just talking about how we do amazing things as humans. We're incredible with what we've accomplished in a relatively short period of time. But we are still. But
imagine what you said. For example, the alien would say, and if I could speak through him, he would say, "Anthony, excuse me, you say far away. What do you mean far away?"
Oh, right, yeah,
You think we come here, go back? No, we're here. We're in a multiverse. We're in different.
Yeah, we're
here. In fact, put these glasses
on.
on.
Here, but
we're
only
here.
And then try to explain a multiverse to us, and we would be the ant again.
You actually
sitting there with our what? What are you saying?
Notice how they're independent.
Yeah,
very good. This is your mandible.
Yes.
This is the fire ant or whatever it is. But they would also say, and you're burning solid rocket. What?
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
We warp time space. We don't even make any noise.
And we'd be like, yeah, we were trying to do that.
You want to get in our ship?
We almost have it.
Yeah. Right, you want to get in our ship? We'll show you a few things.
Yeah.
You might have to duck. You're a little big for this thing, but sit in this thing. Put this thing around your head now. Think.
Yeah,
Watch
what?
this. And by the way,
my God,
and if he I'm serious now, and if he asks you now, how do you make these these turns without me basically dying because I'm pulling 100 G's? We have our own inertia.
Oh,
there's no such thing as up and down.
Right.
And you're doing what again with the 5, 4?
Oh my God! Yeah,
And you will say, so tell us about how you landed on the moon again.
Yeah, tell us.
How did you get around that Van Allen belt? I'm just curious. How did you survive that? Nobody goes there.
Well, we turned the ship in a way where the ship protected us from.
I know we're getting to the end of this, and I know your crew is they're.
Oh yeah, we are
in their own
wrapping up, as they say.
But I got to tell you, one day you must have somebody from my new favorite people, the Flat Earth.
I love the Flat Earthers.
Flat Earth. I want. You don't understand it. I'm all ears.
You're all ears.
Fill
on
me
this.
in. I don't. And don't tell me about, well, you don't see the boat. I know, I understand that the thing, the curve. But where did you get this from? Because I want to say, you see that thing in there, the moon and that sun? You see that? See how it's, you mean to tell me we're flat, but there's a round thing over there too.
Right.
And look through the solar. See, they're all round.
Yeah.
Spherical, actually.
Spherical, but
we're not. I mean, I'm just curious.
and the way light and shadows but they
And Eratosthenes.
They insist.
By the way,
Earth
Johnny Eratosthenes, work on it. Remember the stick, Alexandria, whatever,
Right.
the well, he could
and the
tell
fact
from the curvature.
that
7 degrees, and hey, look, it's curved and it's round, and there you go.
Relatively early figured out.
I'm just throwing
we're
things at Johnny. I'm just
on a
saying.
sphere, people.
Schrodinger's cat, Johnny, and 2, 3, alpha, niner.
I don't understand
Particle
how.
physics in 2.
I don't understand how flat earthers explain, and I've never heard them explain this. I've seen their map. It's Antarctica is the barrier that surrounds the outside rim of what we would call Earth. So between that and what is the North Pole is the equator, which is just on this flat plate. Now, if you circumnavigate the equator, it should be the furthest distance you could travel around the Earth if it's a sphere. If it's flat, and the way they have it, the furthest distance would be around Antarctica.
Right.
And we all know that isn't the case. It is the equator where
And seasons, and I guess
all of it. It doesn't.
But all I'm saying is they are here, and I want to know them. I want to know these people.
I want to know them.
Seriously, I mean, this is my.
There it is. Oh, I love that.
It's like an ashtray.
Oh, that's funny. It's like an ashtray. Yeah.
When you
from stupid.
When you were a kid and you heard Uranus,
Oh.
do you remember Lake Titicaca?
Oh, come on. Now you're bringing up the things that, as a kid, were
Yes.
some of the funniest
Yes.
things you could ever hear.
Lake Titicaca, Sister Mary Agony. Yeah, would you? Is it Italian? What was that again?
Lake
Titicaca.
and Uranus.
Did you guys have, you might be too old, did Djibouti?
No, I didn't
Djibouti, Sheikh Djibouti. Well, Djibouti and the
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Yeah.
Sheikh Djibouti.
Well, Djibouti is the largest military base, AFRICOM, which is where the next war theater is going to be. But Djibouti is enormous. Djibouti, Uranus, or Uranus.
Uranus. They change words like that. Like Niger.
Right,
They were
yeah.
calling Niger.
Right.
Or they Niger.
Do you remember?
That was it. In Niger today.
Do you remember one of the funniest, terrible, tragic moments ever? A good friend of mine, Niger Innes, his father was
yes.
on MSNBC.
Oh my God! I
remember that
this.
one?
The graphic.
Yes.
For his name.
They were a bit gratuitous with that G. And it was Craig. No, what was his name? He was on Fox Now, and Niger was saying, and I believe, and all of a sudden he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He said,
my.
"Well, that's okay, but my thoughts are," and he had no idea. He said, "What are you sorry about?"
what are you sorry
and
about?
He looks and he said, and his line was, "What do you think? I'm a rapper or something?" He just did
that's
not
funny.
care. Craig.
Yeah, he couldn't have cared.
What's his name? He's on Fox Now. Wonderful.
They
Who is that person who said, what was that again, huh?
Yeah, that.
Oh, God!
There it is. There it is.
This
That is something that.
that is one. That person, you will never know who that, because one day was, hang on a minute, yeah, I know, I'm hurrying.
You
all of
would
a sudden,
think if you have to type that name in,
you-
you would double check.
Let's think of how it was. Let's think of how.
Yeah.
Who is it? It's your mother. Tell her I called her back. Wait a minute. I said, tell her I called her back. Just that one little, okay. And because of screen capture, this
Lives
became,
on forever.
no matter what
Yeah.
the man does. This is one of those
And that is
There he goes.
your standard.
good guy, but he had one of the best reactions
Oh, that is funny.
ever.
Am I a rapper?
He's one of my.
Lionel, thank you so much for coming in. I always
plug
enjoy it.
myself again.
Please do.
May the 19th, 7 p.m., the Cutting Room in New York City. I will have and you are invited, of course. I always invite you.
Yes, sir.
But anyway,
invited.
my bluegrass trio, Lock and Load, will be doing. They're playing the Mother's Milk.
I'm triggered by the name. I don't
Lock
like,
and Load.
I don't like Lock and Load. You
Lock
should
and Load.
change the
Been saying
name.
this
It's
for 30
offensive.
years, and before anybody else, Lock and Load. Lock and Load. Ripped and stripped, cocked and locked. I mean, it's politically incorrect.
Yes.
But it's the American twang of American mother. It's bluegrass, and also it's outstanding, outspoken word. And you can go to lionelmedia.com to get information at the cutting
Yes,
room.
right
Thank
there
you.
at the bottom of
Yes.
the screen there. All the Lionel's information, social media, YouTube channel. Great to sit here and talk.
And also, as a great line from the movie Roxanne, where Fred Willard said, "I would rather be with you people than the finest people in the world," and I mean that. I've been using that any kind of a toast, anytime you're out somewhere.
Yeah.
Anthony, would you say a few things at the bridal party? I would. Such a great line.
That one's a good one. I like the one where it's like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. If you enjoyed our show half as much as we enjoyed doing it, then we enjoyed it twice as much as you.
Martin Mull used to always say, too.
Martin Mull was great.
Martin Mull said, "Thank you all for coming," or however you reacted. Was another one. And I always tell people this. I've said this, I do radio shows, and nobody listens. I said, let me tell you something. I thank you so much, not for what you are, but for what you appear to be. And I mean that sincerely. And you just go right over the, and I mean that sincerely. And they will thank you very much.
That's great.
And when they read the names of the great radio performers of all time,
Yes.
you'll be out there listening. And I mean that sincerely. You, my friend,
You
are
will
the
be
reason God made
listening.
us.
Those very names. Lionel, again, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
Love having you on. We will be back on April 30th. And by the way, with a pretty amazing turn of events for the Artie and Anthony show. So tune in for that.
What?
Well, I can't say.
Okay.
Even though this is recorded, it'll be there. But anyway, very cool. And we'll see you then. I have a great time. Yes. Spin those plates.